Over about the past year, my average profit per client has, gone over 10x more than what it used to be. And I've been in business for 3 years, and this has been one of the biggest lessons for me on how to increase ticket size and how to grow the overall business. It's getting your clients to be worth more. If you maintain the number of clients the same, but you do 10 times more money off of them and you 10x your profit, your business can grow very, very fast. This is going to be a step-by-step guide on how to apply the two most crucial principles when trying to increase your average profit per client, at least that I found in my experience over my 3 years of business. The first thing is that it is not about trying to charge more upfront for your clients or just raising your prices, but it's about being able to retain them for longer. It's about having repeat clients that, you do a project, they finish the project, and then a year later they come back to you. And your average profit per client will go sky high if they keep coming back for more. If you look at Starbucks, your average Starbucks order might be $10, $15, $20 or something, but the average revenue per client is insanely high because the customers keep going back. They make a load of money because customers keep coming back. And you have to implement the same thing in your business. I want to share a few steps on how you can get customers to keep coming back. Firstly, is you have to make sure your service delivery is really, really amazing. And so the way you do that is you go and you ask them. You ask them, is this amazing? You ask them, what can I improve? You ask them, is this everything and more that you've expected? Can you give me a testimonial of how amazing I am? Because if they don't give you an amazing testimonial, it's because you're not doing everything perfectly. So how can you improve? And improving service delivery does not just mean value, it means communication. A lot of service delivery value is lost because people don't communicate properly what they're doing. So for me, for example, I do weekly wrap-ups for all of my clients. Every week they get a video, they get a demo sometimes, they get a write-up on what's going on in their project. We communicate a lot. So you can do a lot by changing packaging, communication, whatever, but crucially, you have to keep asking your customers whether they're happy. And if they're really, really happy with the work you're doing, they will come back, they will refer you customers that will kind of skyrocket their average value. And the referral stuff will seriously help grow your business as well. It's a little bonus side part. Another way to keep your clients on for longer is by charging less upfront and getting them a little taster test of what it's like to work with you, and then billing them, a kind of regular retainer, but getting them on there for a really, really long time. That can do a lot for you, and you will see over time you collect a lot of money from good clients that stay with you. The second core idea is about negotiation. And this might seem a little bit obvious, but you obviously want to raise your prices, you want to ask for more, etc. How do you do that though? How do you do that efficiently? Because when you're dealing with kind of high ticket things like development, it's hard to know how to price yourself, and it's pretty hard to kind of move your prices up. Sometimes it feels like you have no ground to stand on to try and ask for more. The best tactic I found to fix this was that most of the time I offer 3 prices. I offer one high price, which is, I try to make it kind of ridiculously expensive, out of their budget, doesn't really make sense for this project. I offer the middle one, which is the one that I want, and it makes the expensive one look stupid, and it makes the middle one look really good. And then I offer the cheapest one, which is like the minimum I'd do it for, or maybe a little bit above that. But I usually make the middle one look like the best deal. And you can make it look like the best deal by including, like faster delivery or extra deliverables, like extra documentation or whatever else. So you can play around with your deliverables, but I recommend doing 3 prices because it does a few things. One of those things is you typically will find yourself negotiating between random numbers less. When you present your client with one option and they don't like that option because it's too expensive, they will just say no and find somebody else, or they'll try and negotiate and you're not really prepared for it, and it's a little bit back and forward. If you have 3 prices prepared, very rarely does somebody say, no, none of these fit, I actually want a 4th new special option just for me. Most people don't go that far. And so if you just have 3 prices, that's a really good way to start and give people option and make them feel like they have a say in the pricing that they choose. The second thing is setting the really high price anchors them psychologically to a higher number, and then they see the lower numbers and so they seem cheaper, they seem more reasonable. Rolls-Royce employs this really, really well. They show their cars at private jet and yacht showings, because when somebody is shopping for a private jet that costs them $15 million, a $500,000 car looks really cheap next to that, right? And so it's the same principle of like anchoring at a high number, then showing them something cheaper. And every once in a while, you'll have a random customer that buys that really expensive package because they want, they want really much faster delivery, or they want some special benefit that you include in there, and they just happen to purchase it, and they bring in a bunch of extra money that you weren't expecting. So it's a cherry on top. And then typically it makes the middle one look very good. So you get the price that you want, and you can shift that price up a little as you go on. but also you have room for a fallback option. So if you're trying to move your prices up, but you're worried the client might not be able to pay it, then you always have the bottom one, right? You have the lowest price available and they can kind of move their way down. Another really good negotiating principle that I found is don't go down on your price unless you're trading something in return. So what I mean by that is if they want you to go down on your price, you have to ask something of them in return. So for example, okay, we'll take 20% off our price, but you pay everything up front, for example. Or we'll take this off our price, but we extend the delivery date. Or we take this off our price, but we remove some deliverables, something like that, because otherwise you look really flimsy. If you look flimsy in your pricing, usually people will try and exploit you more and they'll try and push you down and things like that. And if you stand your ground, over time, they will get used to those prices. Just make sure, to try and ask them what their budget is and pitch your proposal, your range around that, if you can. But even if they don't have a budget, just come up with the numbers that you want. The minimum you do it for, the price that you want, and some, extra large price. And pitch the middle one as being the best option usually, and make it make sense. So, think of the benefits and whatever extra deliverables or faster timing that you want to give in the middle one. So I think with those two ideas, you can get really, really far in trying to get more profit from individual clients. If you keep your clients for way longer and you're able to slowly push your prices up, you can really get a lot more per client. And that can help you grow your business without necessarily spending a load of money or time on marketing more. That's a great way to grow a business as well. Anyway, I hope that was useful to somebody, and I hope that it was helpful. If you have any questions, comment. I record every day, and subscribe if you enjoyed. Most people who watch my videos are not subscribed, so it's always appreciated.